2.
Alpha Business Media voiceover. This is an analysis from Alpha Business Media.
I want you to picture something with me. Imagine you're standing right in the thick of it. Pathao, maybe Koteshwar, during rush hour.
5 p.m., the worst of it.
Exactly. The dust is kicking up, traffic is gridlocked, horns are blasting. You know, that usual overwhelming symphony of Kathmandu. But if you look in the spaces between the cars, you see something else.
We're talking about the riders.
I am. You see a red helmet weaving through a gap that looks way too small. Then a green jacket zips past a bus. An orange one. I mean, they're everywhere.
Yeah, smartphones mounted on the handlebars, navigating alleys you didn't even know existed.
To deliver what? A hot plate of momos, a new pair of headphones, an urgent document. It really feels like modernization happening in real time.
It's a striking visual, and the big players, Pathao, Daraz, Food Mandu, their branding is just woven into the city now. And on the surface, it all looks like a beaming success story. For me as a consumer, it's convenience. For investors, it must look like a huge market grab. But you've brought some analysis today that suggests we need to pump the brakes on that idea.
We do, because behind all those bright jackets, there is a brutal economic reality hiding in plain sight.
So we're not just talking about traffic today.
No, that's the mission of this deep dive. We're going to perform a strategic autopsy of this whole business model.
An autopsy, okay.
Because the real question isn't how fast are they growing, it's is any of this actually making money?
I think most people just assume it is. We pay the delivery fee, so of course they're raking it in.
And that's the biggest misconception we need to clear up. Based on this analysis, last-mile delivery in Nepal is, right now, a loss leader activity.
Wait, loss leader, you mean they lose money on the actual delivery?
In many cases, yes. The profit is not in the parcel. It's a high-stakes, very expensive game for data, for fintech integration, and for the crown of the super app.
Okay, let's unpack that because it sounds completely counterintuitive. Let's get into the math of a single order. Say I order lunch in Kathmandu. The bill is, I don't know, 1,000 rupees. I pay a delivery fee. Where does that money actually go?
This is where the dream meets the pavement. So you place that order. The delivery fee is usually between, say, NPR 100 to 150.
Okay.
And the platform also takes a commission from the restaurant, maybe 15 to 30%.
So on my 1,000 rupee order, they're getting the 150 from me, plus maybe another 200 from the restaurant. That's 350 rupees. That sounds pretty good.
It looks like it until you see the payouts. To keep riders available, and without riders, the whole system collapses, the platforms have to pay out the vast majority of that delivery fee.
The majority?
We're talking 70 to 80% of the delivery fee goes straight into the rider's pocket.
Wow. Okay, so if the fee was 100 rupees, the platform is keeping, what, 20 bucks?
Exactly. The platform is left with a meager NPR 20 to 30, and that tiny sliver of revenue has to cover everything else.
And by everything else, you mean running a massive tech company.
Precisely. That 20 rupees is being assaulted by operational costs. You've got the tech stack salaries for software engineers aren't cheap. Server costs on AWS or Google Cloud, which are paid in dollars.
Right, so the exchange rate hurts.
It does. But then you have the challenges specific to Nepal. This is where it gets really messy. Think about the addresses in Kathmandu.
Oh, right. It's not exactly a grid system.
Chaos is an understatement.
Wow.
There are no zip codes. So the rider calls you, "Bae, where is the house?" And you say,
It's the blue gate behind the big people tree. No, not that blue gate, the other blue gate.
"Exactly. Turn left at the temple, go past the sleeping dog." That phone call costs money. The platform has to run huge call centers to fix wrong orders and mapping teams trying to digitize a city that frankly defies digitization.
So that 20 rupee margin we talked about is basically gone before the food even leaves the restaurant.
It's evaporated. But we haven't even hit the biggest margin killer yet.
There's more.
The customer acquisition cost. Or, as we all know it, the subsidy.
Ah, the coupons. 50% off your first order, free delivery.
Yeah. Let's say you get a 50% off coupon on a 1,000 rupee order. The platform is effectively paying hundreds of rupees just to get you to place that order. They are paying you to eat that lunch.
I use those all the time. I honestly feel like I'm beating the system.
You kind of are. Their logic is you'll get hooked. The problem is that one subsidized order can wipe out the profit from dozens of future full-price orders.
The dozens.
Well, think about it. If they lose 300 rupees on one promo and they only make 20 on a normal order, they need you to order 15 more times just to break even on that first coupon.
I'm probably not doing that without finding another coupon or just switching apps.
And that is what the analysis calls the volume trap. You're losing money on every delivery, hoping you'll make it up in volume. But only the companies with the deepest pockets can survive that kind of cash burn.
It sounds exhausting. So naturally, they're looking for ways to cut costs, and we're seeing one potential solution all over the streets now: the blue number plates, electric vehicles.
Right, EV scooters.
And the logic seems sound, doesn't it? No petrol, lower costs. Surely the shift to electric solves this whole margin problem.
On the surface, the logic is incredibly compelling. Let's look at the math. A petrol scooter costs what? Roughly NPR 5 to 6 per kilometer to run?
At least.
An EV, using Nepal's hydropower, costs about NPR zero point 0.8 to 1.2 per kilometer.
That is a massive difference, like 5 times cheaper.
It's huge. For a rider covering 80 to 100 kilometers a day, that's a saving of about 10,000 rupees a month. That can almost double their take-home pay.
So what's the catch? Why isn't every bike electric?
Because it's not just a cost swap. It's a structural shift from operating expenses, or OPEX, to capital expenses, CAPEX.
Okay, break that down for us. OPEX versus CAPEX.
OPEX is like buying coffee every day. It's a small daily cost. CAPEX is like buying a massive commercial espresso machine for your kitchen.
The big upfront sticker shock.
Precisely. A new EV scooter costs upwards of NPR 300,000. It's cheap to run, but that's a huge initial investment, so who buys the bike?
Right, if the rider has to buy it.
Most gig workers don't have 3 lakhs just sitting around. It creates a massive barrier to entry.
So the platform buys them.
Well, some, like Daraz, have experimented with that. But then they're not a lean software company anymore. They become a heavy fleet management company. They're suddenly worried about tires, maintenance.
The battery?
And the battery. It's the most expensive part, and it degrades over time. Plus, you have the infrastructure risk. This is Nepal.
The real world risk.
Exactly. You're dependent on a very new charging infrastructure. And then there's the classic Kathmandu problem.
Power cuts.
Power cuts. A power outage can grind an entire fleet to a halt. You can't just make a quick stop for petrol. So EVs are promising, but they introduce a huge capital risk. It's not a silver bullet.
Speaking of survival, let's look at the market. Right now, on my phone, I've got a folder with Pathao, InDriver, Foodmandu, Poj. There are at least 10 of these apps.
Easily 10. It's a crowded room.
But based on everything we've just discussed, the thin margins, the high costs, can all 10 of them actually survive?
No. The short answer is no. Consolidation is an economic certainty. This market is a duopoly in waiting.
A duopoly? Why? Why can't we have 10 different players competing?
It comes down to 2 big forces. The first is network effects.
Which is the idea that the service gets better the more people use it.
Exactly. Imagine you're hungry in Lalitpur. You open App A, it has 500 restaurants and 10 riders nearby. You open App B, it has 50 restaurants and no riders in sight. Which one do you use?
App A every time. I want choices.
Right. And because everyone chooses App A, more restaurants sign up for App A, and more riders sign up for App A. It creates this virtuous cycle for the leader.
And a death spiral for everyone else.
A death spiral. No mature market in the world supports 10 players. The US has DoorDash, India has Zomato and Swiggy. Nepal will follow that pattern.
And the second force.
Economies of scale. That's about spreading out your fixed costs, the tech, the marketing, the mapping. If you have 100,000 orders a day, the cost per order is tiny compared to a platform with 5,000 orders.
So the big guys can just operate more cheaply.
And they get better rates on everything. Payment gateways like eSewa, insurance. They can effectively starve out the smaller competitors.
So this is the billion rupee question. If the margins are this bad and it's this brutal to survive, why is everyone fighting so hard for this market? Why is Alibaba pouring money into Kathmandu just to lose 20 rupees on my lunch?
This brings us to the core thesis of our deep dive. The delivery is just a pretext. It's a Trojan horse. The real goal is to build the super app.
The super app. We hear that term a lot. What does it actually mean here?
It means owning the user's daily habits. You might buy a TV once every few years, but you eat lunch every day. You commute every day. Delivery is a high-frequency habit. Once an app owns that habit, they can start cross-selling you services that actually make money.
Okay, so who are the main contenders in this race?
You've got 3 main archetypes. First, Pathao. They came from ride-hailing. Their strength is that high-frequency, low-value stuff, your commute, your lunch.
Yeah.
Their challenge is moving up to more expensive things.
Right. And then there's Daraz.
Daraz is the heavyweight, backed by Alibaba. Their DNA is e-commerce high value, but lower frequency. But they have deep, deep pockets, their own logistics, and an integrated payment solution, Daraz Pay.
And Foodmandu.
The niche player, the pioneer. They own premium food delivery, but the analysis suggests they have to defend that vertical like their life depends on it, or they risk getting acquired.
You mentioned Daraz Pay, and in the intro, we hinted at this all being about becoming a bank. Is that really where this is all going?
That is the fintech holy grail. The ultimate prize is financial services.
Like loans and insurance.
Exactly. They're copying the playbook from Alipay and WeChat in China. Once a platform processes all your payments, they know what you eat, where you go, how much you spend.
They have a better map of my financial life than my actual bank does.
A much better map. Your bank knows your salary. Pathao knows you order takeout every Friday and take a taxi to Knoxall every morning. They can score your creditworthiness in a way a traditional bank just can't.
That's fascinating,
Yeah.
and also a little terrifying. So they're not building logistics companies.
They're building fintech funnels. They are happy to lose money delivering your momos today so that tomorrow they can sell you microloans, insurance, and investment products. That's where the real margin is.
The rider isn't just delivering food, they're acquiring a data point.
That's the game.
So let's bring this back to the bigger picture. What does this war for data mean for Nepal's economy, beyond just our phones?
It's a huge question for policymakers. The focus now is usually on things like fares or traffic rules. But the analysis suggests the focus needs to be on the digital infrastructure.
Like digital ID.
Exactly. National digital identity frameworks, regulatory sandboxes for fintech. And crucially, we need to clarify the legal status of gig workers.
Riders themselves.
Yes. If this sector is going to be a major employer, we need to ensure it's socially sustainable. You can't just burn through labor to fuel a data war.
It really feels like we're at a turning point then. The days of just burning cash seem like they might be numbered.
That's the perfect way to put it. The final thought I'd leave you with is this. Most of these startups are functionally insolvent without their next injection of VC money. And as the global market tightens, that free money is drying up.
The music is stopping.
It is. As Warren Buffett said, only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked.
And in Kathmandu, the tide is definitely going out.
It is. We are about to see who is actually a real business and who is just burning money to get user data. The era of the subsidy war is ending. The era of the fintech war is just beginning. The race isn't to your doorstep anymore.
It's to your bank. That is an incredible look at what's really powering those scooters. It's not just petrol. It's the promise of being your future bank. Thanks for helping us unpack all that.
My pleasure.
And thank you for listening to this deep dive. Next time you order that lunch, you'll know exactly what's happening behind the screen. We'll see you on the next one.